So with the recessed lighting that we're putting into the rec room area, I'm going to install it on a three-way switch so that it can be activated from this location or at the back door location. To start this rough-in for the recessed lighting, I need to bring power feed from the electrical panel to this switch. I run a 3-wire from this switch to the other switch, and from the other switch I run a 2-wire to the 9 pot lights, and that will connect a 3-way circuit for the recessed lighting. Okay, so I'm at the back location where the 3-way switch is going to be installed. You can see this red wire here is the extra 3-wire that was ran from switch to switch, and the black and white wire up to the first pot light in our series. Okay, here we are at the 3-way switch location that I roughed in earlier. This is the switch that is going to run the living room lights. Then at the back door I have another switch that will also run the living room lights. So they work together to pass the power back and forth so that they can be switched at 2 different locations. So that's a 3-way switch. A 4-way switch would be a light or device that's controlled at 3 different locations. So as mentioned before, at this location is where I have the power feed from the panel coming in to the switch. Then I have a 3-wire from here that goes all the way to the other switch location, and then a 2-wire up to the first light in the chain of recessed lights. So here at the location where the power comes in, I've got a black and another black on the right side of the plug. Then I've got my red, which will carry power over to the other side even when this switch is off. So it's why I use the extra wire is to bring the power over there so the switches can work with each other to make it able to switch at both locations. Now, if there was a third location for this switching, which is how I would create a 4-way switch, it's the same idea. 2-wire from the panel or from your power source into the switch, 3-wire from switch to switch, 3-wire from switch to switch, and then 2-wire from there up to the device or devices that are being controlled by the 4-way switch. When you're hooking up your switches, this is a special switch I had to buy. It's a 3-way switch. When you're using a 3-way switch, you gotta have a 3-way switch at this location and a 3-way switch at the other location, which has got 3 lugs to hook the wires up to. If you're doing a 4-way switch, you need to have a 3-way switch at one end, you need a 4-way switch for the center location, and then you need another 3-way switch at the end, and that's how you can effectively make a 4-way switch circuit. So I'm going to take you now to the other box, show you the configuration of the 3-way switch on that one, so that at home you could basically copy the same thing. Home run feed in at this location, 2 blacks on the one side, got the red on the other. At the other location, we'll go check out that configuration, and that'll be how you need to complete it to have a 3-way switch. Okay, so this is the switch at the second location. Now this is where the 3-wire comes from the other switch, and then a 2-wire goes up to the first pot light. So at this switch location, I've got the black wire from the 3-wire on the left side, and on the right hand side I've got the red wire from the 3-wire at the top, and I've got the black wire up to these lights from the bottom screw. So this is effectively finishing off my circuit, and that basically wraps up the tutorial on 3-way switches. Okay, so the wiring is finished over at the back entrance. I can turn the light on from here. Then, all the way over at my other switch location, I can shut it off. So that completes the installation of the 3-way switch. Okay, so this is a single switch location. This is the power in and the power out to the exterior light. So, and the ground wire. So, again, seeing as we're talking about switches, this is a regular two-way switch. It's only got two areas to secure the wires down and a ground. So, switch off, no connection between these. Switch on, connected through, and the light works. So these are the simplest of the switches. Again, you would just come to your location. Right away, start with your whites. Get those strips. Now you're really looking to get a good twist on this. Throw a moret. And tuck it back into the box. Now these are the remaining wires that you need to complete your circuit. Always very important that when you're lugging wires down on screws, that if you're wrapping the wire around there like that, it has to go in the clockwise position, because you'll see here that the last crank of this turn will actually spin that wire even tighter onto the prong, so you know you have a secure fit. Now on a two-way switch, doesn't matter which one you put top and bottom, you're just finishing off the circuit. By when the switch is on, these are touching. When they're off, they're not. So, shove those in. Okay, got those fastened perfectly onto the side here. My ground wire's on. I'm just gonna get my wires tucked in here as best I can. And I usually get the screw started into each hole. And then, as I mentioned before, you don't want to keep twisting the drill down or your screwdriver down to bring that in, because if you're actually pinching a wire, you won't really know because it's just going at the speed. So I like to get it started and then push in the device so you know you're not pinching any wires. And then finish off with tightening it down at that point. Alright, and that's pretty basic. That's a two-way switch right next to the three-way switch that we just finished.